everyone, and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I'm going to share with you a little bag that I made to give those ladies who came to my classes at the end of November as a thank you for all their support throughout the year. And it is based on a bag that I saw from Jackie Bullhouse from Clomp and Stampers, and I'm just gonna show you how I worked it for me. Okay, so I started with two pieces of 6x6 designer series paper, and this is from the Dashing Along designer series paper pack. And all I'm going to do is to score on one side at 1 inch, and then on the other 3 sides I'm just going to score at 1 1/2, and this is using my Stampin' Up! Simply Scored, and it's as simple as that. So I've already scored one of them, so I've now got 2, and you should see quite easily well, hopefully you should be able to see the score lines. Now the side with the 1 inch score line I'm going to fold over. This red is going to be my right side, and this is going to be my inside, and so this is going to be my little cuff or lip, as you might say. So I'm going to find this as well. So once I've done that, then I'm going to flip over and I'm going to pull in all my other score lines. And before I make sure I put in I burnish it, I'm going to make sure everything is square, that these pieces are all lined up before I put those in. And then I'm going to go the other side, and again just making sure everything is lined up square. By doing that I get a good finish to my little bag. So there's that one, and then I'm going to go on to this one. Now this gives you quite a cute little bag. You can make them bigger. You can do a 7x7, 8x8, 10x10, and up to the maximum of 12x12. And you just use exactly the same method. So now I've got my 2 pieces here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of cutting. On one piece I am going to totally remove these 2 corners, and I can just see these score lines. Hopefully you can too. I'm going to remove totally those corners like that. And then on this piece here, I'm just going to give a little wedge up on these side pieces to that score line. I find that it just gives a it gives a better finish to do that. Excuse me. And then on the second piece, I am just going to cut on this side to the score line. And then I'm just going to put a little wedge either side like this. And again, I just find it makes just to give a better finish. It's easier for all the bits to go together like this. So a little wedge either side. There we go. So on the one, you take out the full squares and just wedge the little bit in the center, and on the other you just cut up the sides and then just wedge slightly those 2 tabs. So then we're going to attach them together, and I prefer to use liquid adhesive. It gives me some wiggle room, but you can use snail or glue stick, whatever works for you. And I'm going to position this so that that tab excuse me, I have a frog in my throat here. That tab, hope you can see, is just slightly short of the, or it's just on the score line of this piece, and it is between these two score lines here. I hope that's making sense. Okay, and then flipping this over, this piece here where I have the join, that is going to be the back of my bag. And so I'm going to make sure that all my joins will go to the back. So this means that this is the front of my bag. So I'm going to put a little adhesive, don't need a lot, and I'm going to bring this piece round, and I'm just going to line up my cut edges there and just gently and firmly squeeze. And then I'm going to go round and I'm going to do the same thing here, just put a little bit of adhesive. And the only reason I'm putting adhesive here is that it just helps or stops the flap from falling into the bag when you put your goodies in. And just firmly do that. And then I'm going to put a little glue just under the flap, that little cuff, on all four sides. And I'm just putting a tiny dot just inside because I don't want it squeezing out. Just holding it firmly for a few moments just to make sure it sticks. And then here and here. You can just see the small amount I've put in there. Just holding it in like that. Just going to hold it just firmly. It only takes a few moments for it to catch. And then I can go ahead and put my adhesive on here, and this time I am going to go quite close to my edges just to make sure I get good sticky and not too much flapping. And then I'm just going to line everything up, and hopefully, because I was careful with putting in my score lines, I should find that these pieces are the same. And then again, I'm going to pop a little adhesive top and bottom, and then just hold it firmly until it's stuck it down. There we go. So now I need to punch a few holes, and I have got my 1/8 hole punch, and I'm just going to eyeball it into the center, but I'm going to line this little piece up here with the cuff and just do that. You can measure it if you want. And then I'm going to use some of this lovely cherry cobbler ribbon, and I'm just going to put a little knot in it like this just to hold it in place. I'm not going to pull it terribly tight because it doesn't need to be, because the hole's quite small and then the ribbon produces a nice knot. And then I'm going to bring this round to make a reasonable size handle. Get my scissors out, and I'm cutting a point, and that makes it just easier to get it through the hole like that. And again, I'm just going to tie a little knot. Like that, and then pull it firmly. So there's my little bag finished. It just is so cute. I'm so thrilled that Jackie shared this with us. I'm leaving these bits out. I'm not cutting them off because I want to just make them almost like a feature, really. And then my little decoration, a little piece of card, and I'm just going to use this You're the Best from the Label Me Pretty stamp set, because my ladies who come to my classes and shop for their Stampin' Up! Goods with me are the best. And so I'm using the Cherry Cobbler ink because this is Cherry Cobbler and the ribbon's Cherry Cobbler. I'm using a 1 1/4 inch circular punch, and I also cut myself a circle using the Joyous Noel Glimmer Pack, and I've got a little bit of the green left, and I've just used a 1 1/2 inch circle on that, and I'm going to stick the two together using glue dots. I find that glue dots will work much better when you're sticking anything to glimmer paper. Press firmly, and then a dimensional on the back, and just stick it onto my bag. And the other thing that I did for my ladies is I took some Hershey's nuggets, and I took a strip of coordinating designer series paper, and this is 3 by 1 inch, and I just put a curve in it and some double-sided adhesive, the tear and tape, and I just covered these like this, just held it in place, pulled it really firmly and stuck it together like that. Oh, I've put the tape side down, would you believe? So much for getting ahead of the game by putting some tape on there. But anyway, line everything up, make it look pretty like that. And then they went in and they made some gift tags that also went in the little bag. And as I say, that was my thank you for all their support throughout the year. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Once again, I'd like to thank Jackie for sharing the idea. All the supplies are available on my website, and if you look down below this video, you'll see a link to my post and my inline store. I certainly appreciate you spending your time with me, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.